After years of using this gaming PC, look how old this is. Look at the dust buildup. The battery is practically about to explode out of its case. I decided to build my own PC. Hi, my name is Chris and I make tech videos. This is actually my very first PC build. It took about 15 hours to put together. I made a lot of mistakes along the way and I did a lot of research, and hopefully from this video you can learn from those mistakes. Now let's talk goals first. For this PC, I wanted to be able to play video games at the max, highest resolution, do 4K video editing, and then hopefully one day run some AI softwares and programs on it. So I wanted to make sure that it was spec'd out. In terms of cost, I spent around $3,000. The biggest factor was the NVIDIA GPU, the 5080 Founders Edition. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Here's everything I wish I knew before building a PC. Here's the first lesson learned, and it's a little bit embarrassing to admit. Don't forget to take off the plastic cover. For example, I had to put on thermal paste twice because I forgot to take off the plastic cover to my CPU core. And then secondly, I forgot to take off the heatsink to my SSD. So I had to unscrew it, take it off, take off the cover, put it back on. If you forget to do this, it's not the end of the world because most of the times you can just unscrew and take things off. But if you do forget and leave the plastic covers on, your CPU as well as your SSD might overheat. Lesson learned number 2, don't waste your time worrying about thermal paste. I must have watched at least a dozen videos trying to figure out the most optimal way to apply thermal paste, and here's what I learned. It doesn't really matter too much. Now what I did was I put one dot in the middle, some on the corners, flopped it on. What you don't want to do is you don't want to over flood the CPU with thermal paste, and you don't want to necessarily put too little. Think Goldilocks, just the right amount. Lesson 3, not all screws are your friends. Now you actually don't want to over tighten your screws. 1, you might actually crack or break your board, but 2, if you over tighten and then you find that you made a mistake and you have to take off a piece, because it's so tight, you might end up stripping your screw and then really ruining your board. This sounds like a very simple mistake, but I made it. Make sure you check which screws go onto which places in your motherboard. There was one time I used a screw that was too big for a hole that was too small, and that kind of messed things up a little bit. Luckily, it wasn't too damaged, so I was able to take it out and use the right screw, but just be mindful. Size matters. Tip number 4, before you put your PC into your case, so for me, I got the Fractal case, try booting it up. The reason for this is you might install everything perfectly, and then when you try to turn it on and it doesn't turn on, then you have to take everything out again, and it's just a giant hassle. So try plugging in the power, try plugging it into your monitor before you even put it into your giant case so that you can see if there's anything wrong. For me, I was very lucky that even before I put it in the case and turn it on for the first time, I was able to get to the BIOS screen. This was a trick I actually learned from Linus Tech Tips. All right, I think we're up to tip number 5. Airflow is important. Now, the Fractal case came with 2 fans, and those are 2 intake fans, which means it takes in cool air. But you can't just have cool air coming in, you have to have exhaust fans to pull the hot air out. So I actually added 2 fans on the top and 1 in the back. It's important to check what size fans fit where. So before you buy your case and before you buy your fans, make sure to look at the specifications to see what size fans you need for the top, the sides, or the front. Another thing you have to consider with airflow is your power unit. Now, when I first got the power unit and I was gonna put it in the case, I just put it in with the text facing upwards. And that's not correct because there is a right way to put in your power unit. The power unit should have a fan, and that fan should be facing the bottom side. And the reason why it's important is because this way it pulls in cold air from the bottom vents of your case into the power unit. One other optional tip that relates to fans is try to optimize where you plug the fans into the motherboard. So if you have fans on the top, try to plug the fan into your motherboard at a slot that's close to the top. It just promotes better wire management. A resource that was super helpful was actually the Linus Tech Tip video. I will link it in the description below. Now, I've been running this PC build for about a week now, and I love it. It's blazingly fast. I can have 1,000 Chrome tabs open, and when I play League of Legends, I can play at the highest settings, and I'm pretty sure it's made my gameplay actually better. But that's all for the video. If you have any questions about PC builds, please put them in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them.